Hey guys, I'm Auntie Alicia and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'll be sharing 3 recipes that make a great brunch. Ooey gooey cinnamon roll monkey bread, fluffy ham and cheese quiche, and we have a delicious lamb meatball. So let's get started. So to make these super simple cinnamon roll monkey bread, all we need are 2 cans of pre-made cinnamon rolls. We've got our cinnamon and sugar mixture, and then we have some butter, brown sugar, and vanilla mixture. So normally monkey bread is made in a bump pan. We're gonna make ours mini size, easy to share, definitely party food. We are gonna do it in cupcake pans. You're just gonna take your cinnamon rolls. We're just gonna cut all of these up in 4s. Once they're all cut up, we'll start rolling. And this is something the kids would love to help make. All right, so now we got our whole pile of chopped up cinnamon rolls. We're gonna go ahead and just give these a roll and throw them in there. Just a little roll, nothing too hard. Okay, and shake these up. Just wanna give them a nice coating. You know, they're already sugary, so why not extra, right? And then we're just gonna put 5 of them in each one. So because these are nice and ooey gooey, I put the muffin pan on a cookie sheet. So in case any of the goo bubbles over, it doesn't get all over your clean oven. All right, and we're just gonna keep doing this until we've got it all loaded up. We're just gonna stir up our brown sugar butter mixture. We're just gonna pour some on each one. Call it the secret sauce ooey gooey butter. Now we're just gonna pop these in the oven. I've got the oven set to 350. Gonna put them in the oven for 14 to 16 minutes until you see that they're not raw anymore, they've fluffed, and if you do pull them apart, you know, they'll come apart really easy. All right, and they're done. They smell so good. You definitely smell that real cinnamon. And you see from our little nuggets or whatever that it'll be easily that monkey bread that pulls apart. We'll just get a knife or an offset spatula to pull these guys out. And because we have all that buttery goodness in here, I've got an extra tray that I'm just going to unwrap these. These are still pretty hot. You let them cool for a few minutes, but the idea is I'm taking them out of the other paper and just putting it in a new liner, and that way, you know, you can put it on your tray and they're ready to go. And I'm flipping them upside down so that you, just like a monkey bread, you get that nice glaze on the top from the caramelized sugar and butter. Just lifting it out, flipping it over, and putting it in the new liner. And then we'll go ahead and glaze the top of that. Now again, you can spread it on with a knife. You can put it in a piping bag and drizzle it on. I just warmed it up in a container. I'm just going to eyeball it and drizzle it on. And just keep going until they're all done. Okay, so I have all of our ingredients ready to make our fluffy ham and cheese quiche. I've got half and half, which is half cream, half milk. I've got my eggs, some diced ham. I have a combination of cheddar and Swiss, salt and pepper. And then, since we're making them mini, I have a muffin tin that I already lined with pie crust. I use the refrigerated pie crust, the one that comes in the big round. I punched out holes. They're about 3 inches or so. Makes it great for appetizers. You could pop them in the fridge, easy for breakfast. It's a quick and easy assembly too. So we're just gonna start by cracking our eggs. I like my little egg holder. Fit the perfect amount of eggs. All right, then we're just going to check, no eggshells. We're gonna dump in our half and half. Just gonna add our salt and pepper to this. So you could do this step with a whisk, or if you have an immersion blender, it makes it even quicker and easier. We're just gonna blend this until it's nice and incorporated. It's all blended really well, so it should take less than 30 seconds. We're just gonna load it up. Now this is really versatile. Like, you can customize it. You can add sausage, you could add bacon. You can make them all veggie if you want. Sky's the limit. Even if you've got kids in here working with you and doing this with you, you know, they could each have a few of their own and get to pick what they want to put in it and kind of make it custom like that. So we're just doing ham today. So I'm doing about a tablespoon of ham. I actually measured that out pretty well. I'm going to do about a tablespoon of cheese. And again, pick the kind of cheese that you like. Ham and Swiss kind of go together, but we like cheddar, so I like to put cheddar in here. If you like it a little spicy, add some pepper jack. There's no wrong answer. And these just look so pretty sitting on a tray, especially if you have other breakfast items. So now we're just gonna start adding our egg mixture here. We'll sometimes make these for breakfast, pop them in the freezer. They reheat really well. And I do about 2 tablespoons of this. So it's just it was 1 ham, 1 cheese, and 2 egg. I had a little bit of extra. I'm just kind of divvying that out to all of them, giving them all just a little bit extra. And that's it, super simple. So now they're just gonna go in an oven, 400 degrees. I'm gonna bake it for 8 minutes and then I'm gonna rotate it. So they're done. I probed them. They're above 165, which means the egg is cooked and it's done. We're gonna let them cool for a minute and then we're gonna transfer them out of the pan and check them out. We've got a lot of ingredients here for our lamb meatballs because we're also making a pomegranate glaze to go with them. So yum. So for the glaze, I've got pomegranate juice and some balsamic vinegar. And then I have some honey, some shallots, and a little bit of allspice, and a little salt and pepper. And then for the lamb meatballs themselves, I've got the lamb, some more shallots. We've got a bunch of spices going on here, and then some breadcrumbs and eggs. So on a medium heat, we're going to drizzle a little olive oil in our pot. We just need a small little sauce pot. And then we're going to add some of our shallots. And we're gonna cook those for about 3 minutes, and then we're gonna start adding the rest of our ingredients. And once we get all of our glaze going, it's gotta simmer for about 15 minutes or so, and during that time is when we're gonna go ahead and make up our meatballs. And if you don't have shallots, you can use onion. Just use, less onions, but you're gonna dice these up pretty small, and then we're just gonna cook them until they're nice and fragrant and they're translucent. And we just don't want them hard and crunchy anymore. All right, so that's looking good. So we're gonna add our pomegranate juice. We're gonna add a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, the balsamic, honey. Pomegranates are pretty tart. And then a smidge of allspice. Just gonna stir all this together. Already smells good. All right, so every once in a while you can give it a stir, but we're just gonna let that go. And now we're just gonna mix up our meatballs. I've already got our lamb. To that, we're just gonna add all the ingredients. So we're gonna throw in all of our spices. Again, we've got cumin, coriander, cinnamon, salt, and pepper. Alrighty. And then I've got garlic. Don't worry about your hands getting dirty. Your hands are going in it. More shallots. Breadcrumbs. And this is fresh diced up mint and 2 eggs. Not the shell. Okay, so then we're just gonna get in with our hands and mix it all together. And once you think that it's all nice and mixed together, then we'll start scooping. And I'm making 12 meatballs out of this. As you can see, it's all the spices. You see the shallots, some garlic, and the mint. So it's all nice and mixed together. It's all mixed up. It looks good. I'm going to use a scoop, an ice cream scoop, whatever scoop, and try to evenly portion out 12 of the meatballs. If you have a scale, you can do it that way. We're just going to use this scoop, get it as close as we can. We want the meatballs to cook nice and evenly. It makes it a lot easier if they're all the same size. All right, so I have a little bit left over and I'm just going to give each one an extra little pinch. Again, if you want to be like super accurate and you've got a scale, go ahead and use that. So our glaze is looking good, but I want it to reduce down a little bit longer So we're probably gonna cook it for another about 5 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to roll up our meatballs and we're going to start pan frying in a little bit of olive oil. This just gives them a nice crust on the outside and kind of locks and seals all the juices on the inside as much as possible, at least. I just wet my hands a little bit, makes shaping the balls a little bit easier and the meat doesn't stick to you. I guess it's not really a ball if it's not like round shape. If it starts sticking, just wet your hands a little bit more. Now, I don't want to overcrowd the pan, so I'm gonna just cook 6 at a time. Meatballs have a tendency of coming out oddly shaped when you cook them in a pan. Turning them often. We're gonna give the pan a little shake and kind of roll them around to help that too. So because we're gonna bake them in the oven, I'm not cooking them all the way till they're completely cooked through. They'll finish cooking in the oven. They're looking nice and toasty. They're looking good, so I'm gonna pull them out because we're gonna bake them and we'll finish cooking them there. And we'll go ahead and roll up our next ones. Our sauce is looking good. It's definitely reduced down from where we started. So I'm gonna throw the meatballs back in my pan. I'm gonna add my glaze. And I'm just gonna coat the meatballs in the glaze. And once they're nice and coated, now to make them finger food, an appetizer, perfect for a party, I already have a pre-done cookie sheet with a flaky crust inside of it. And so we're just gonna go ahead and add a meatball to each one of these. Fits in there perfect. And then we're gonna pour the rest of this glaze right on top of them, and then we're gonna bake them in the oven for about 15 to 18 minutes. That'll finish cooking off the meatball as well. And there you have it, 3 great recipes that'll get your next brunch a standing ovation. If you liked one of these recipes and you think one stood out to you, let me know in the comment which one was your favorite and which one you plan on trying. See you next time.